Okay, y'all. So on episode 1 of the season 2 return, we discovered that Lilo does not just work for the cartel. He's not just a parole slash probation officer, but this man is a senator's son. So just like I speculated the last time, it has literally Oliver has literally opened a new bed of red ants that's just crawling all over the place. And if people find out that Lilo is dead, it's going to be some serious trouble. Okay, y'all. So William is seen by Oliver carrying the barrel with the wood in it. William is basically on a mission to prove his manhood. Oliver asks him, "Hey, son, what you doing with that barrel? Put it down." And he says, "Well, the highest told me that I needed to bring him some wood. So I'm gonna bring him the wood." And Oliver, of course, you can't take that barrel over there to where the highest is. There's a whole freaking body in there. So um, he's persistent. William is persistent. So finally, Oliver just pushes him down and says, "I got it. Just go get some wood from out of, just get hand walk some wood over there. Don't take this whole barrel. Go get some wood from over there out of the wood pile and take them over there." So, of course, Oliver is in scared mode. Like, the highest is going to kill me. He's going to hurt me if he see me not doing what he told me to do. And so, I was like, just tell him I took the barrel. Just tell him he won't blame you. They'll blame me. So just tell him I did it. I took the barrel from him. So, uh, Oliver, he was trying his best to get rid of that body that's in that barrel. But then he walks around like, okay, I'm rolling it, taking it on to, try to dispose of this body that's in here. But then Daikon stops him. Daikon, questioned him about the whole Clark situation and Marvin situation. And even to the point where Daikon has put his foot up, he's so comfortable, he has his foot up on the barrel. And Oliver looked like he about ready to push out a whole baby, how stressed out and nervous that he has become. So Oliver is just like, let's get this over with. Let me go ahead and get rid of the sparrow. So they're done with that conversation. And, Daikon asked him, "Are you ready to start recruiting?" And of course, he's agreeing with him. "Yes, I'm ready. Whenever y'all are ready to send me out on a mission, I'm ready to go recruit." And then at this point, so they're done with that conversation, and Oliver tries to take the barrel, and Daikon is like, "No, you just go back to the gate. You just go back up front. I have somebody else come remove this." So at this point, I'm thinking like, dang, you about to go into that barrel, figure out what's going on. Cause still at this point, nobody has seen Lilo, and Oliver, like I said, he about ready to lay a ton of bricks because he is concealing the body of Lilo. So we see William finally make his way over to the highest to take the wood back over to the burn barrel. He puts the wood in the burn barrel, and then he just stands there in front of the highest. And the highest is like, what you doing? Like, why are you standing there like that? And basically, William is so afraid of him, and he's just like waiting for his next set of orders. Like, what you want me to do now? And so, the highest says, "I won't be seeing you tonight." So, basically every time he sees him, he's raping him. And at this point, William is pretty much relieved, like, wow, not tonight, thank goodness. And so he turns around and walk away, and here comes River. He sees William, and he looks at him, and then he walks on over to the highest, and it says, "Wow, he looks relieved." And of course, the highest says, "Well, shouldn't he be?" And the highest is just like, "I'm trying to teach all these kids. I'm trying to get them to learn. But at the end of the day, you know how you teaching him to learn by consistently raping him." And so he says, the highest says, well, I'm trying to do right by all of the kids. I'm trying to do my best and do right by all of the kids. And so basically, the highest is starting to feel guilty about the fact that he's going to send those kids on the mission. But at this point, River wasn't aware that the kids were about to go on the mission. So the highest tells River, I feel bad about, basically about sending the kids, basically about to use the kids as mules. And River had no knowledge. Like I said, he had no knowledge that this was going to happen. So, of course, he still has to play along. And he says, well, the highest, you're the best. You're the only one that can teach them. It's all on you. You have to, it's all about making sure that everything runs smoothly. And that's what you do. That's your job around here, sir. That's what you do. You take care of the kids. No, sir. Sending the kids as mules is not taking care of the kids. In no shape, form, or fashion. The highest know that crap ain't right, but he's still gonna probably do it anyway. Who approaches Elder Mother Marva, and they're of course having a conversation about have you seen Lilo? Is he still here? I haven't seen him. Nobody has seen him since he went to the bathroom, but Agnes says, but Marva, that's your fault because you gave him this old crazy concoction that has him in the bathroom. And the last thing I saw is that he was in the bathroom or, at the outhouse. And I don't know what kind of concoction you would create that would have somebody in the bathroom all night and all day. Because like I told y'all before, Lilo got there earlier the day before. Now, mind you, the morning has came in. It was early morning when Lilo had to go to the bathroom. And now, which it was still dark outside. And now it's completely light and still no sight of Lilo. Okay, so it's like, at this point, yeah, she sent Joan to find him. And he was supposedly in the outhouse, but he's not in the outhouse. So at this point, you would have thought that they would have just been a little bit more concerned, but not really. But yeah, because that's their moneymaker. Like that's how they basically survive. And for him to be seen, so Marva, her mind goes way to the left, and like maybe he's over there messing with the women, or maybe he's over there messing with the children. And she tells Marva, we need to go look again because that's not, we don't want him out and around, doing that. Not to the kids and not to the women. We don't need him messing with nobody right now. Not like that. So she and Marva and Agnes, they go and basically try to find Lilo. They're on their own mission to find Lilo. Agnes goes to the front gate where she sees Clark, and Clark is like, I haven't seen him. Of course, Oliver is standing there at the gate with Clark, and Clark is like, no, Oliver says, well, I'll go look for him. And Clark is like, nah, you stay right here. I'll go look for him. And so that's what they do. He and Agnes go off to look for, to go and actually look for Lilo. Ruth and Tally are standing there. They're all washing dishes. Paula is there. Zane is there. And they're all just, they're going along washing dishes. So Marv says to Tally, hey, your food is getting pretty good. People are not complaining. They like the food. And so, of course, being Tally says, well, does the highest like it? And Marvel's like, well, I'm the only one that makes his food. So, yeah, I'm the only one that will ever feed the highest. She's got that in her mind. So that's what it is. And so after she says that, then she starts, telling Tally, or she was talking to Tally and Ruth and Agnes, saying that I think it's time that we separate Tally and Ruth. Like there's no reason for them to be in the room together anymore because now they're both strong enough to where they can teach everybody else. And Ruth and Tally are like, nah, y'all can't separate us. But that's what it is. When what Marvel says, Marvel goes, okay? So they're trying to separate, the two of them. Said that, ever since your punishment, Tally, you and Ruth have been doing really well. So, like I said, at this point, it's time to separate the two of them. Okay, and they're quote unquote besties, so how you gonna separate the besties who are trying to survive among each other? And that's how they have their conversations and how they plan and do whatever it is they need to do to plan and plot to get away from the whole Rockabouche compound. But now they're about to be separated, and that's not gonna be able to happen, not as successfully as they thought it would. So after that, Marvel, like I said, they go off, her and Agnes go out to look for Lilo. So that leaves Ruth, Tally, Paula, Zane, and then Joan walks up. And Joan is asking Ruth all the questions. Well, is it going? Is it how's the plan going? And just asking her all kind of questions. And at this point, Ruth still doesn't, she doesn't really seem like she just don't want to deal with Joan at all, because she's just real short, real quick, real rude with her. And so Ruth says, well, Tally and I are going to go talk. And you girls finish doing, basically finish cleaning these dishes. So the other ladies remain. They're cleaning the dishes. That's Joan, Zane, and Paula. They're there still doing the dishes and talking with Joan, Paula, and Zane. Joan is persistent and telling Zane she should leave with them tonight. She should leave with the crew, because previously they scheduled, basically there's another group of people that are interested in trying to leave the Rockabouche compound. And that's the crew that Joan is trying to tell Zane that she should leave with. But Zane is like, nah, that don't sound right. Like, what's going on? Why are they trying to do this now? Now is not the time to try to do this, because if a few people try to leave, they're gonna, that all of us are gonna be, held accountable. And so she asked Joan, like, why aren't you going? And then, of course, if it's your people that you got set up for a ride and everything, why aren't you, why aren't you going too? And Joan is like, I just can't leave right now, So basically, we already know Joan is trying to secure that money. So she definitely not even trying to leave. But my thing is, why you trying to encourage Zane, out of all people? You didn't say Paula or even Lacey, because Lacey was standing there too. You didn't even say Lacey or Paula. You go straight to Zane. So what's the deal? What's really going on? Why is it that you so encouraging to Zane to try to leave? But Zane is suspicious. Zane ain't having it. Zane is like, I'm not going anywhere. I'll just wait, and maybe I'll go to the meeting, but I'm not. I'm not even leaving. I'm not leaving the compound. Y'all not about to get me killed. So a few hours have passed, and it's getting dark. And Daikon, he's walking around, look like he's doing a whole terrain walk like they do in the military. And he discovered that there's a hole in the fence. And then he realizes the only reason why there will be a hole in the fence is because somebody might be trying to escape. So now we move forward to a little bit of civilization, where we see Malcolm has made his way back inside of Sarah and Andrew's home. And Malcolm is, so persistent. Why don't you just leave with me? I can take care of you. I told Mac that I would drive you to his house, but Mac's still sitting outside in the parking lot, outside. So how is it that, Malcolm decides that, he's gonna take Sarah to Mac's house? Like, Malcolm, you lying. Come on, Malcolm. You know good and well that was not what the plan was. That was not the plan. So stop with the games. Sarah is not your woman. That is not your house. You need to just stop pulling up on people and just do your job. And before you end up, in some crap that you can't get out of. And, so as Mac is still sitting outside, he receives a phone call from Brian. And Brian calls and lets him know, hey, the sheriff is saying that, we can't go back up to the Rockville compound tonight. Brian is on, he's just like, let's do this. We got enough evidence. We got most likely they determined that there was drugs in the food that the sheriff, got. And that should be more than enough evidence for them to go ahead and try to shut down the Rockville compound. But Sheriff Connolly is like, no, that's not enough. We need, we need more. We need more evidence. And we need to not go there during the nighttime. We need to go there during the daytime. So I'm wondering if the sheriff actually ever tried to go there during the nighttime. And no, I don't think so. I don't think so, because he would have never ever stepped foot back on that Rockville compound if something had happened to him. He went there during the nighttime and something happened to him. So nah, that's not a good theory. But Sheriff said something that's profound, and it applies to the younger generation today. He said that the seasoned approach is always the better approach. That means don't be so quick and don't be such a hothead to jump into a situation and then, you basically make things worse than what they are. So kudos to the sheriff, for making that stand, taking that stand and saying, no, we're not going to go tonight. Okay, because at the end of the day, it's so much going on right now. Brian, if you do go up there, whatever you do, you may mess it up. I love you, Brian. Love you, Jaime Callica. Ask Jay a question day on Friday. Y'all make sure y'all go to his IMDB and let them know that we do want more Brian, more Jaime Callica on Ruthless for season 3. But anyway, yeah. He may mess up something. So just kind of take it slow. Take it. I know it's not as fast as you want it to be, but make this approach a little bit slower than what you would approach anything else, Brian, so that you don't mess up Andrew's plan and everybody else's plan. They end up going into his trailer to talk. And basically, Daikon is like, he's asking her, like, are you running game? Like, what is the deal? And we can't be together. We can't be seen together. But yet you keep doing this. Like, what are you up to? And so he pulls up her her online resume when she was out there in the online streets and says, I've seen, this is your profile. Basically, I've seen what you can do. I've seen what you've done. Is that what you're doing to me? Are you playing me? Is it a whole game? And so, of course it's a game, but of course she would be crazy to tell him that it's a game. And so she says, I really do love you, and we're gonna have a baby together, and you're gonna be the father, and you're gonna be the best father, and basically you're gonna have a son. We're having a son. And Daikon whole mindset is all about the highest. And he says, no, even if I basically helped create it, that baby is going to belong to the highest. So you can't just keep, running around and playing, as if you love me. And of course she's like, yeah, I really do love you. But we know it's all a game. It's all a game. And at the end of the day, all I can say is tread lightly, bro, tread lightly, because you never know, something, you think everything's going okay, and then it ends up going in the opposite direction. So Charlie Brian arrives back home, and Lynn is there. This is after a process of calling, of course, Cynthia to see if she had heard from Lynn. So he comes into the house. Lynn is sitting there. They go through the little small talk. And Brian is like, I've been calling you all day. Why haven't you answered my call? And basically, Lynn just straight up tells him, I'm not happy. I don't want to be with you anymore. I want a divorce. And she Brian is like low key, he's trying to remain calm, and he's like, well, is it because of because of your parents, or is it because you know I said that I wasn't ready for a child, and we both decided that we weren't ready. And then says, yeah, that's true, I wasn't ready. So basically she's saying that it wasn't about the fact that she just don't want to be with Brian right now, has nothing to do with the fact that they decided not to have the baby that she was pregnant with. It's mostly all about just the fact that she's not happy. And so Brian kind of starts reminiscing, which I've never seen this before, but they have basically they went to this dam, and they basically had two locks. One was his lock and the other was his lock. They locked it together and threw away the key. But basically it seemed like they threw I was confused on that part. But anyway, they threw the key through the locks in the dam, but the dam was drained. So basically Brian went and did whatever he had to do to find their particular locks. Out of all of them, I'm pretty sure their locks was the only one. But anyway, he went and got their locks, and he gave them to her. He showed them to her, like, look, I still have this memory of us, and I basically don't want this memory to fade away. I still love you, and no matter what, I just don't, I don't want us to, go our separate ways. And, then in Lynn manner, Lynn fashion, she's not having it. She's not with it. She doesn't care about anything. She's crying now. She's hurt by something, but she's being stubborn. She doesn't want to tell why she truly doesn't want to be with Brian, other than just throwing out a whole bunch of rash of insults. Okay, so then finally, Andrew has finally returned to the Rock Edition compound. He's got his proof. Of course, we already know he's got his proof that he needs to basically get back in on the compound. But before he can even do that, here comes good old Oliver with all this rash bad news, letting him know, hey, you heard of Lilo, blah, blah, blah. I've killed him. He's rolling around in a barrel somewhere. I can't seem to find the body. I need your help. Are you going to, when you get in there, are you going to tell the people? You going to tell the highest what I did? And Andrew is like, look, man, I got my own problems. I ain't got time. I got to get in good with them first before I can even, tell them anything. So no, I'm not going to tell on you. I'm going to have to get myself back in there first before I can, tell them about you. So, I'm not going to tell anybody. And so Andrew is just like, dang, don't I got enough on my shoulders as it is? I already had to pretend like I killed my wife, and now here I am, got to go help this clown recover a body. And so he asked him, well, where was the last time you saw the barrel? And it was at the other gate, and it's been all over. Basically, this barrel have been all over the place. At this point, you mean to tell me nobody has figured out that there is a dead body in that barrel? So, well, y'all, I guess that's it. I guess I'll quit the rambling, but that's about it. At this point, we waiting to see what's gonna happen on episode number 3. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Jamarion, thank you for being the first one to watch this video or the previous video. You on point, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody else that has subscribed to our channel. If you're interested and you are on Facebook, don't forget to follow our Facebook page at Tyler Perry's Ruthless Fans. The whole word is spelled out, and there's also going to be a link in the comments down here. So make sure you guys subscribe or follow us on Facebook. Join our group. We love having these conversations weekly. Every time there's a new episode, of course, with the whole BET Plus platform, I gotta say something about that. We have to wait. Everybody's device shows it differently. So some on Roku will not get to see it until 3, 4 in the morning, or maybe sometimes 6 in the evening. Some people won't get to see it until, and if you got Apple TV like I do, I actually get to see it the night before at 11 p.m. and I'm not sure how long that's going to keep going on, but I'm gonna keep watching it every time they release it at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday instead of Thursday. I'm gonna go ahead and watch it. All right, but just a few, BET Plus, they're out. I think it shows it at 5 or 6 in the morning. Sometimes it may be early. I guess it depends on the time zone. But BET Plus, thank y'all for releasing those 3 episodes. Mr. Tyler Perry, sir, you and your crew, sir, much respect to you. Thank you so much for all that you do. But I'm gonna need you to have BET Plus get on track, because we want to be able to chat just like the other shows. We want to be able to chat and tweet and, at the same time. The more I talk about it, the more trending it get, the better. So let's work on that, sir. Thank you. But that's it, y'all. Like I said, thank you guys for stopping by. And episode 3 review will be coming to you shortly. So thank you guys and tune in.